Yeah, but now see, the problem with you not having headphones is that you got to be more cognizant of when you're talking into the microphone.
I know.
You know
That's
what I
a
mean?
problem.
Cognizant. That's an ACT word.
Cognizant.
I don't say SAT word because I didn't take the SAT, so it's an ACT word. Did the SAT still exist?
I don't know, dude.
We always get to talking about education too early.
Why are we talking about education?
We always be talking about it. Just gets there. But I was clipping my nails earlier today, right? Fingernails. And I got to thinking about two things. Number one, first thought that crossed my mind is I see why women typically and some men go and get the shit done by another party because
No, I don't see why.
no, just listen.
I don't see why.
We don't have to go into deep discussion about this first
No,
part.
we are going to go into
It's the second part I want to talk
about this because I don't see.
No,
why.
no, just listen. Shut up.
It's
the second part.
easy.
It's the second part that I want to talk about. The first part is really just when you're trying to clip your dominant hand with like your weak hand. That shit is like it's tricky. You know, you gotta be careful. You don't want to like cut them too short accidentally. You know, like it's hard to get.
These are your issues in life.
No, that's just one of the things I thought about today as I was clipping my nails.
Okay, so listen, I'm going to firstly say that I do not think that I see any reason you can't just clip your own nails.
No, you can.
at the
I'm
crib.
just saying when you're clipping it with your offhand, the one that is not your dominant hand.
And so this is a reason why you would see people go.
Nah, it's like one thing
from somebody.
It's like one thing. I'm like, all right, well, I kind of get it because it's hard. You know,
It's hard.
it's harder.
What is these are your challenges?
Nah. So then the other part of this is how the fuck do women function with like extra long fingernails? How do you function as a normal human being when your fingernails are like they're shooting an inch over your fingertip?
Listen.
Hangnails.
Is it sexist to
scratch
say,
yourself.
Is it sexist to say I'm glad I'm not a woman? Because honestly,
No, I don't think so.
All right, listen.
It's just how you feel. I'm tired of people being
okay,
persecuted
but
by how
to
they
be
feel.
fair,
You know?
to be fair, I think that they underestimate how hard it is to be a man.
No,
right?
word up. But they say that type of shit all the time. They're like, oh yeah, I'd rather be a man than be a woman. Like you don't
Well,
even
listen,
know.
there
you don't even know the tribulations that come with being a man.
There are definite benefits, right? There are definite benefits to being a man.
I think it can be said for both.
You're saying so? It's
both
like
genders.
both sides of that coin.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Listen, I just don't think that I would
Like getting laid a lot easier as a woman. And as a man, that's what you think about.
To be fair, I don't want to go down this lane because I don't want to have. Women deal with a lot more from shitty men.
They put up with the things because they don't like sex the same way. So like us getting mad opportunities a day is not a problem.
I don't think that's fair either. I think listen, we got to change topics because I also think women enjoy sex too, but they're just not as. See, men can just. Next topic. No, I don't see any reason why anybody goes to.
I'll tell you, just like Kelso from that '70s show said, right? Played by Ashton Kutcher. He's like, that's because I guess he kissed another girl, and then Jackie like kissed another dude or whatever. And he's like, well, that's different because girls don't even like sex. And she's like, that's not true. And he's like, well, how come we're not having sex right now? It made a lot of sense to me. I don't know.
Adam woke up this morning and the topics on his head were. It's hard to trim my fingernails.
That wasn't on my mind when I woke up. It was as I was doing it myself.
So you were up. At what point do we gotta stop giving you like slack for saying something stupid when you first wake up?
Wait a second.
Right, because when you first wake up, you're groggy.
Because you may think it sounds stupid, but to me, it made all the sense in the world.
Okay, I want to know people who comment. None of you.
One or two of you.
Oh, we have some topics to go over. She left a few questions, so we got to go over them.
Yeah, we'll do that.
But to those who are listening and you feel like commenting, what do you think? Is it difficult?
I'm just saying it's not as easy as using your dominant hand to clip. Anyway, whatever.
You've been doing it your whole life. It's like when you trip up the stairs.
I'm a nail biter.
When you trip up the stairs,
I'm trying to avoid that.
You're a nail biter? I'm not a nail biter at all. So. Here's why I feel like you should have no issue doing it. When you walk up the stairs, right, and you trip going up or down, don't you get mad at yourself? Because
that's different.
At this point in your life, you're like a professional at walking up and down stairs. You've been doing it for so long.
No, because we talked about what it means to be a professional podcaster. It means you get paid for it. Nobody paying me to walk, so that's not true.
Okay, you're a seasoned.
I got to debunk your.
You're a seasoned vet. right? You've been doing this forever.
I'm a seasoned
You don't get
amateur.
mad at yourself when you trip up the stairs or when you your the toe box of your shoes catch the concrete.
I
And
mean,
you kind
of
trip
course,
short.
you have nobody to be mad at but yourself, and it makes you want to be mad. So
Okay, so
you
you're
have
not
to.
mad at yourself that you can't trim the other side of your.
I didn't
the
say
other
I
hand?
can't.
Your offhand.
I didn't say that I cannot.
Or trim your dominant hand with
with
your
the
offhand.
I didn't say that I can't. I said it's more of a challenge because when
You
you're not
said
using your
no,
dominant
okay, all right,
hand.
here's why my beef with that, and then we'll go ahead and introduce ourselves and go to questions.
Yeah.
My beef with that is that you said you can't control the depth at which you go.
No, I
inside
said you don't
into
want
the
to
nail.
accidentally cut them too short because you know it sucks when you have your nails.
Well, what's
too
wrong
short.
with your other hand?
Have you had your nail too short in your life?
So
do you know what it's like?
Your offhand is your
My left hand,
Your
yes.
left hand, right? Do you know
That's
how to
the
do it?
stranger.
Can you do any? So which hand is your stranger? Are you able to do other things with your left hand?
I mean, not as well
Do you
as with my right hand.
What do you do with your left hand? Is it just there limp most of the
Nah,
time?
it's like an assistant. You know, like if I need. like
Adam plays ball like this. He just lets his hand dangle.
That's the idea. When you're shooting a basketball, it's the keep it steady hand. You know, like
That's the only hand. That's the only thing that hand's made for.
yeah. It's just
Support?
it's just to help the right hand.
It's the support hand. All right, go ahead and introduce.
If it's not, then I don't know what else it is. Anyway, welcome everybody to the Kasson Ave podcast. This is episode number 157. I made sure I had YouTube pulled up today for that. I'm your host Adam here with my brother Osama.
You.
The dog is here playing producer or whatever he's
He
doing.
is an aggressive person today.
Yeah, you know, he's chilling. He just
Where'd he put his little bone? He was mad at that motherfucker.
Well, before you get here for pod days, he has to watch me clean the house for like 2 hours, and he just gets really like bored and irritated with me. So I don't know. Anyway, shout out to all the viewers and anybody who makes it past the first 5 minutes, because according to analytics, there's not too many of you.
Yo, y'all are coming for some weird ass videos. If you're still here,
listen, Sam doesn't understand analytics very well. I sent him screenshots.
Don't
to show
nobody
him, like,
understand
the
analytics very well.
The videos that like suggest people come here, right? And,
Yo,
like,
I saw a
impressions.
Japanese massage.
Yes, but there's
I
like
saw
one person for
Teen
those.
Skater Boy.
But did you see the numbers?
What the fuck? Where are you? Who watched that?
Did you see the numbers? Did you see the numbers? That's the important part. So like Andrew Schultz on Kanye Backlash, 234 impressions from that.
I think the problem is we got to be more clickbait.
Live from Skankfest South. I don't know what that is, but it sounds interesting.
Our next title is going to be Zion Williamson shows up unannounced. What?
These are the videos that they suggested our video from. So it's really YouTube that's a nasty person.
We're going to start taking different thumbnails.
We just take well.
It's all going to be clickbaity from now on. I don't give a fuck. We're about to see what happens.
Well, again, it's not getting them here; it's getting them to stay longer than 10 seconds.
If I have to hire a fucking fake Zion Williamson to actually come here.
Maybe we can get fake Drake since he's like been canceled by the world.
No,
at
he
this
can't
point.
do fake Drake anymore.
Yeah, no. Let's talk to him about that.
Huh?
Let's talk to him about that. How do you feel now that your gig is done and you have to go back to being your lame
His
ass
career
self?
was being somebody else. Yo, I don't understand like this lookalike shit. Okay, so
if you look like somebody,
when we're
look, people do fake Elvis all the time.
so kind of in the same way when we're in
the Blue Man Group has like 500 members worldwide.
yeah, but that's because they can't be everywhere. At
They're
once.
just bald blue people.
Mike, okay, so we went to DR, right? Bald blue people. They put makeup on. They're like, what makeup? So when we were in DR in 2015, right, which was a long time ago now, 7 years.
Long ass fucking time ago in a town called Kickapoo.
When we were there was a Michael Jackson impersonator.
Yes, there was.
Right? But because Michael Jackson's dead, right, we already know that,
That's like a weird gray area, right? Because
being somebody
being my MJ specifically, because I mean he
like what era MJ
God
are
rest
you?
his soul, but yes, he transitioned himself from a black man to a white man. So like, if you're gonna go and do like '80s
but
Mike,
so
can you do? It's weird gray areas all over the place with that.
There's a lot of weird gray areas in life. No, I think it's different to be a Drake impersonator because Drake, he looks just like he's Drake, essentially just a fat Drake.
Yeah,
which
is basically DJ Khaled.
That's really I think there's something wrong with somebody that can't. You got to find more value in yourself, kid. You can't just be the value, and you can't be that you're not you. You're somebody else.
People make all kinds of money impersonating and doing impressions and blah blah blah.
How much do you think he made off of that shit?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure he's up. Pause. We're applicable.
Yeah, but he's been told to stop, so he's got to be down.
It's not like they were like, give me all your proceeds. Now you're just like, you can't make any more money off this.
What
Go
do
find
you do?
a new.
You just got to be you're at clubs.
Listen, man, let me hit a lick for like 6 months in that
What
same
is
vein.
the benefit of that? Like
They were talking about in Joe Budden podcast.
Who gets excited for this guy?
They were talking about Joe Budden podcast. He definitely got like pussy he was not supposed to get off of impersonating Drake.
Okay, well,
There's benefits that he got.
Explain
I'm sure.
it to me. Who is getting excited about Drake's impersonators here? Like,
I don't know, man.
What people are looking at this dude like, that's awesome. He's interesting. Why is that such an endearing?
I don't know why you would want to clown yourself like that in the first place. But I will say this.
Wait. We got to clarify. What do you mean?
Like, if I looked enough like a celebrity who was one of the arguably most popular.
Are you saying that you wouldn't
want
to be? You wouldn't want Drake's lifestyle. I don't want to be Drake, but you wouldn't want yourself.
Oh, his
in that
lifestyle for
position?
sure. But I wouldn't want to look just because I look similar to him. I don't want to like go and live off his name.
I just read something that he said that he dates 5 women now to make one complete woman.
Drake?
Yes.
Listen, what do you say about that? You know,
you say nothing. He's Drake, man.
but
He's
I say this:
arguably the most
If you're gonna-
popular fucking artist.
if you're gonna
of the
impersonate
last,
somebody
what,
like that,
15
you might as well
years?
do it while they're alive, because I do think that there's a level of, while it's like a homage to some extent.
I thought you were going with an Arab word.
No, when you're doing like a Michael Jackson impersonation, like he's passed now, isn't there like, I understand it's like a tribute, but like, isn't that kind of weird? You know, and kind of disrespectful in a way
To be Michael Jackson?
Now you're making money off his likeness, and you ain't him.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, cheers to you if you can do all those dances, man. That's a lot. I don't know. I just feel like if you can really be that, if you can do those dances well, and you want to walk around looking like Michael Jackson your whole life. I mean,
listen,
who's to say?
I
Who's
disagree.
to say not to?
I
But
definitely
Drake is
disagree.
still
I
out
think
here
that-
doing his thing. And
Yes.
what if he's at the club, right? And then like, what? I don't know who we want to say is there first. Let's say Drake's there first and fake Drake walks in. Or fake Drake's there first and real Drake comes in, right? Now the fucked up thing is Drake should just be referred to as Drake. Now we got to refer to him as real Drake. Like,
But there's like,
Dr. Drake
people do this
Ramore.
shit all the time, right? Because people, particularly of the female variety, just because I've seen it on Instagram a lot, no offense to you ladies, they'll often mistake somebody for a celebrity who's not a celebrity. And they're like, oh yeah, I took a picture with Rick
People
Ross,
don't know who
and
the
it's not
fuck
him.
they're talking to. Most people don't know who they are.
So if I'm that person and you think that it's me, and I'm
Drake
like,
did a
oh,
thing-
you're
Drake-
kind of hot, like I'm gonna go ahead and pretend like I'm this guy for the next 12 hours or so. But after that, I'm going back to being me. Like,
No, that's fine if you're gonna do it. Listen, all right, let's say I'm in a club, I'm a single man, and I look like Drake, and I'm just chilling there, and for some reason in my life, I happen to look like Drake.
nah, look like me, but
He
Drake and I
looks
resemble
you know
each
what?
other.
No, fuck that. He looks like me. I
Yes,
would say.
exactly. That's the thing. I look like me, but Drake and I
You
resemble
look
each
like
other. It's all it
if
is,
they
you know?
walked up to me, first line is, "You look like Drake." I'd be like, "No, Drake looks like me." Firstly, bitch.
I'd be like, listen, all respect to him, but we resemble each other.
But-
None of us look like each other.
but-
I'm trying to go and get his haircut.
If there was "Are you Drake?" and I'm just sitting there, just yeah, I am Drake, and I will go through with it for that.
I am from England.
I'll see how that night goes. Being like, "Oh, I'm Drake for sure," right? Go tell your friends. But
Did you bring your girlfriends with you? I don't know if you heard, but I date 5 at a time now. So.
I date 5 to get 1. So if you don't got 4 other friends, you got to go.
Or you'll find 4 other random women in the club who are down.
So yeah, in that regard. But I'm not going to then go home and update my resume.
Drake impersonator in the clubs.
2022 dash question mark.
To
Like,
current.
how long have you been doing this? Well, at this point, 18 hours. But
And counting. Hey, listen, man, I'm doing this as long as it works. I'll be at this club
how
every
fucking
night.
nasty you go to this motherfucker's LinkedIn, and his LinkedIn has Best Buy 2019 to 2020. Fucking Verizon salesman for however long.
How do you think it happens when they find out about this shit, right? Like,
who?
One of their boys is like surfing the internet, and he's like, "Yo, Drake, you see this guy?" Like, he's like, "What the fuck,
Drake?
That looks like me."
Drake, you got it.
I wasn't there yesterday.
Drake, you got a job? And the funny thing is, this motherfucker don't even look anything like him. There's not even listen, there are many dudes that look exactly like that here in Chicago. All you got to do is just look. All you got to do is ask them to shave a stupid fucking heart in their fucking lining.
It's true.
Now, listen, if you got a lining to do that with, I ain't hating.
Although, man, that lining always messes with me because I look at it and I'm like, why does it go like this?
That's a whole nother story, man. That's a whole nother story. But listen, he doesn't look anything like him. However, like I said, if for a short night, yeah, I'm Drake. What's up? But like,
I'm already lit in here. Let's go.
As I said, I'm not gonna go home, start telling people, guess what I do for a living.
You'll never guess what I was yesterday.
Or you know how that conversation goes? He goes to like girlfriends and guy friends. Hey, look at me. Who I look like? Who I look like? You don't see it? You don't see it? Come on, man.
Look, man, I kept a high beard.
Where's he from? He's from New York.
I don't know. I have no idea.
He's like, what's that? What they say? Real talk. B. Who I look like? Come on, dead ass. Dead ass, B. Who I look like? You don't see that? You don't see that? And they'll be like,
I got the puffy coat with the hair in the hood.
You don't see me? You don't see me? Come on, look at. I got the heart in my lining. Look, no disrespect.
The beard is faded from the cheek into the beard.
I will say this.
From like that.
No disrespect. Get it how you live, pimp. However, this is not the way to live. I will just say it right now. Be yourself. You got to have some other skill.
So at the end of this conversation, don't you think it would be a very entertaining time to interview him about how was your time as Drake? How did you get started?
Yo, honestly, I would interview dude. I would have a lot of funny questions.
I would have a lot of questions, and I think I would just be laughing at him the whole time.
Do you think he got?
He would never come back.
Do you think he got any famous ass from it? Probably not, right? Because girls can just get Drake.
Those girls know who Drake is. Yeah.
Okay, what about the girls that couldn't get Drake? Do you think they went to this guy?
It's possible.
Fake Drake number.
If for nothing else, just to send pictures to their girls and be like, "Oh yeah, I was with Drake," and then you actually weren't. But
you got to show the side profile because you can't show. Dude looks nothing like Drake. It's
true.
It's like they say, "What is it?"
How do you discover this talent? Oh man, people think I look like Drake.
What's the flattery again? What's the
imitation? Is
imitation, but this motherfucker isn't even an imitation. It's a stretch. He was like, it's just I don't know. It's just funny to me to think that that's a thing now. I mean, I guess impersonators have always been a thing, but
it's
like
literally if you just
like
get
parties,
the haircut. All you need is the haircut. Huh? If you got a matching skin tone and you get the haircut, it's all you really need to look like anybody you want to look like.
Has anybody ever seen them side to side? Like, is Drake drastically taller than dude? Like, what if they walk up to each other and he just looks down at him like...
I just really want to know what Drake's opinion is on this whole thing, too. Like,
well, they told him to cease and desist. You ain't see that? They told him stop using all of it. OVO, the owl. Woo, you can't see none of that shit.
Oh, come on. There's a lot of bootleg owl chains out there.
You can't even walk around hooing.
Come on, Drake. There's a lot of bootleg owls out there, man.
You can't walk around hooing like an owl. Don't even think the word owl. You can't watch owls on TV.
Don't even say another 3-letter word.
You can't be in a place where somebody might say the word owl. You can't say the word vowel because it's too close to owl. And that's something I feel like Drake would do. That's funny to me.
That's foul.
If you're Drake and somebody's impersonating you, what do you do? Do you just start showing up where they show up just to to be bigger than they are so they realize they're not Drake? You just ruin their fucking...
Or I just kind of lay back in the cut for a second and see how people respond to me when I'm not paying attention.
Fake Adam! What if Fake Adams becomes
like, our people? It would give me a chance to like for instance, right? If you have like a body double in a movie, right? And
so you would hire him?
I would hire him to go to spots that like I never been before.
Like, and all I would need you to do is walk through with the hood on, and I'll pay you. Honestly, Drake should be thinking about that.
It's not a bad idea.
Hell yeah!
I'm gonna hang out in the cut right here, and I'm gonna look around at the people who are watching and see if anybody's plotting.
Drive in a car, right, on the driver's side, and just show the top of your head so they see the heart.
Hey man, flip back the hoodie right here just for a second.
Right, like as Drake dresses him, like, all right, you're gonna do good on your first day, right? So like,
Nah, take the hoodie up a little bit, you know.
look at you. He's like, I'm so proud. I'm so proud of you.
Oh man, if this whole thing came out while the Push Drake beef was happening, Push would have had a field day.
That's
Like,
hilarious.
oh, he's your son.
Yo, that'd have been great. I wish it would have happened just because of that. And I like Drake. Drake's a likable guy, if you ask me. But it's hilarious. And you know why he's even funnier to me and likable? Because he's so petty. The things he does are really funny.
The subliminal shots at Joe Budden.
That's why, yeah, him and Joe, like, because there's a video back on Joe Budden TV when he was interviewing Drake outside of somewhere, and this was Drake pre-facial hair, like
still the classy.
Mad early, like, you know how you grow into yourself a little bit. It's funny.
He was still lining his beard up at the little thin line at the bottom, the thin chin straps.
Yo, I have some pictures from back in the day when I had that thin ass chin strap. I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking? Like, I think it was
You do what you could.
At that point, it was the thinner, and the thinner it is, the better. So you're like, watch how thin I can get, and it would just be the worst. You would just like,
but it was always like thin on the side here and a little bit thicker on the bottom.
no, like
that's how I like to have mine, where it just kind of like got a little thicker.
Well,
as it got
eventually,
towards my...
it went from that, like, because I think I wasn't able. This didn't fill in all the way for a little bit, you know, and it took some time. So eventually, as it was able to fill in, I grew my beard out further and further.
Well, yeah, it's a progression. I remember one time I was a lot younger, you know, it was like sophomore year of high school or something like that. And it still wasn't fully on, you know, whatever. I went to Majid before he went for his little 1.5 year journey that he took. And
put that Beijing shit on you?
And I was like, no. I was like, Majid, you know, do the thing. And he was like, it's not, it can't.
He said,
like, it doesn't go all the way.
He's like, there's nothing to do there, Adam.
I'm like, damn.
And then he left for. He's like,
I'll see you when you grow a beard.
Yeah, I'll be back. But I'm not telling you. That night he locked up. He's like, I'm never gonna cut anybody's hair again after that. That kid is stupid.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't get so crazy, you know.
What'd they call you at that damn marathon?
Listen, man, fuck those guys. We're just all right, man. Listen, for the sake of full transparency and even clouding ourselves where we can on the podcast, we can't even give the translation because it's not PC anymore, right? I don't know, whatever.
Well,
so there's a gas station.
You can give a synonym.
There was a gas station across the street.
That's grammar for y'all if you didn't know.
Synonymous. There was a gas station across the street from Dave's, you know, an old neighborhood over
You
there.
know Dave, the guy that used to
Shout
be
out
here.
to Dave. Happy belated to him.
Happy belated birthday to Dave. You got
everybody say happy
don't have
birthday
air
to Dave.
horns, right? You just got
Nah, we don't have them. But we can give you a chime.
chime.
Yeah, wind chimes.
So there you go, Dave.
So growing up, that gas station was ran by a bunch of Indian dudes, and they were always the same guys in there, right?
Yeah, man, they knew us forever.
And so I walk in there, and they'd be like, "Hey, Gandu."
Now, for those of you who actually know that word, that's kind of funny.
Yes, and for those of you who don't,
It's kind of fucked up.
it is a more derogatory term for homosexual.
Yeah,
But not necessarily derogatory. All right, listen. It has another definition, which means
in
cigarette.
London,
Has another definition, which means cigarette, right?
do they
like
still say
it's
that
like the
in
B.
London?
I don't know.
I gotta go to London.
Anyways, I was none the wiser, you know. Here I am, like a 10, 11-year-old kid before I found out about this shit. And then I was like, excuse me, what you say? Like, we used to, this was the era when you can call each other that, and it was just funny. And nobody
my God.
meant any malice behind it, you know? So,
He was like fucking 10 years old walking in like, I need butter, and hey, Gandu, you're like, what the fuck?
wait a second. I never went to the gas station to buy butter. Who's doing that?
A stick of butter?
What kind of psychopaths
You
going
need
to
it-
the
what was
gas
that?
station
What's
for butter? It's just nasty. Hey, yo, don't get your butter from the gas station, man. That place is there for like Sprite and
Well, gas stations
And
have evolved,
Doritos.
to be fair. They're like now
Yeah,
like
but I said
restaurant, convenience stores.
that was 20 years ago. You know what I mean?
Remember
Like,
Clark? You can get literally 4 gallons of
Remember
fucking
Clark candy
Sprite for
bars?
like 79 cents. Shit was ridiculous.
it's true. Remember Clark candy bars? Them
Those
fire.
aren't around anymore?
I haven't seen one in years.
Okay.
I used to like them shits. But yeah, so that's the story of Gandu and the Indians who ran the marathon by Dave's house.
I don't know how we got to that point.
I don't know. We jump all over the place, you know.
What's that statement? Right there. The Indians who ran a marathon by Dave's house. Like there was an Indian marathon by Dave's house.
Listen, man.
Like a literal like 5K.
Hey, listen. Chicago is pretty famous for blocking off roads for people to just run down the street. That's what they
Block parties?
No, like for
Riots? What the fuck?
for marathons and shit. It usually happens downtown, but like
That's the only place it happens.
whatever, man. Whatever. You know, I'd rather it have been a marathon than a Indian dude calling me Gandu as I came into the store. That's all I know. Out here trying to support your business, motherfucker. What?
I wonder what about you made them think that.
I don't know, man. Maybe they were hopeful.
That's even worse.
That's
dude.
how you turn it back around.
I kind of wish you didn't bring it there because now I don't want to laugh.
Well, you know.
Yo, you heard, because I was just looking at Stone Cold. For those of you who don't know, behind the camera that you are living in, actually, there's a Stone
That
Cold.
guy.
Yeah, Stone Cold. But then Logan Paul is the older brother, right?
I don't know.
Who's the one that boxes a lot?
Both of them.
No. The one that's like just beat up Anderson Silva.
Probably Logan.
We have to talk about that. But I think
It's probably nonsense.
I think it's Jake Paul is the older one. He was in a match with Roman Reigns last night, tore his MCL, ACL, and meniscus.
Damn, that's a knee problem.
Yep, that's gonna cost him a little bit.
There's in there other news on Roman Reigns. There was like some cancer diagnosis that he just had.
I don't know.
I don't know, man. There's like all kinds of weird news that pops up, and I never know what's fake and what's real. But if that is real, you know,
Yes.
thoughts with you for sure, man.
Yes, sir.
That's The Rock's cousin, right? Or
Is it?
yeah,
Is that just a storyline?
I don't think so. There's some relation to it. Why would it be a storyline? Rock
Think
doesn't
about
wrestle
it.
anymore.
Because I don't want to hurt your heart if you didn't know already. But like Kane and Undertaker really weren't brothers.
Nah, I know that.
You know?
But it was believable because they were two 7-footers.
Gigantic fucking human beings that choke slam people.
No, but I think that they are related.
All right, you're in a ring, right? Like you just end up in there. They just throw you in there. They're like, "Fuck that guy! He's a Gandu, right?" And so they throw you into the ring, and you're just like, "Holy shit, man! I just came in here to get some butter, right?" And they so you had like they're
You better
like,
check the expiration date on that butter, man.
they're about to
Dusty
send,
ass butter.
they send you in, they leave you in there, or now you're in Hell in a Cell, right? So they lock the door, and you're in there. Like that seems terrifying in itself to be in a Hell in a Cell. But let's say you're now in a Hell in a Cell, and there's nobody in there, but they're like. Somebody come. Vince McMahon comes on the screen. You son of a bitch!
Which a lot of people are feeling that way about.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like this is my reference from when we're kids. So now he's on there, right?
The
And
Titantron.
he's saying, "You motherfucker! You came in here and you think that you're gonna get some butter for free, right? Ain't nobody butter for free. That's pause.
Don't come to my ring and call me a Gandu.
Pause. No, he gets on. I found out what that word meant. So
I wish we could title the show Gandu.
No, I don't think we
I don't even
can.
know how to spell it.
I don't think we can.
No, probably
I mean,
not.
it would be funny to put there because people would be like, "What?" And they'd look it up, and then we'd be canceled for sure.
I mean,
but
can't cancel somebody who doesn't have.
so he comes on the screen. And he's like, "You motherfucker! I can't believe that." So now you're gonna get beat up by one wrestler of your choice, right? Like you got to get beat up. So there's one. Like, who do you think you have the best chance with? Obviously, they're all gonna kill you. They're all massive human beings, but that means that you're obviously gonna have to get the finisher, right? To finish him. Who are you taking? And in our theory, and this thing here, wrestling's real. So it's gonna hurt a lot.
Probably one of the Hardy brothers.
Like you want him to swanton bomb you?
Listen, if it's real, he ain't getting me in that position. And if he gets me in that
You
position,
think that-
by all means,
You
swanton
think
bomb
that you're
away.
gonna beat up any? These guys be pretty big, man.
Not word, but those
You
are
ain't
guys
gonna
who I
go
feel like
skydiving. You think that these guys will
there's
say
like
no to skydiving?
they're like the featherweights.
All right, well,
They're obviously the acrobats.
what do you consider yourself if they're featherweights?
Welterweight. I don't know, man. All I know is those are like the smaller of the dudes. So like, I feel like I have a better chance against one of them than I do against a Kane, Undertaker, Stone Cold, Rock, Triple H. Like, I'm not trying to fight them. Motherfuckers be swinging sledgehammers at each other and no.
Okay.
All right, I'm all right. I'm not trying to face the Dudley boys. Like,
Yeah, the Dudley boys, that
don't
was
feel no
fucked
pain
up.
and
Those
shit.
guys were really fun
I'm not trying to
watch.
fight Mankind.
Get your fucking sock out of my face!
There's no winning that match. That shit will go on until one of us dies, and it's probably gonna be me.
Would you rather face Dude Love or Mankind? He
Or Cactus Jack.
Or Cactus Jack.
Probably Dude Love.
I would like to face Dude Love. Pause. Right?
You would think that he would have some kind of like, all right, Dude Love is his name. Like, he loves dudes.
What was his finisher? Was it
He's
Sacco?
a Gandu.
Can't keep saying these things.
I don't know what his finisher is. I don't remember.
What was Cactus Jack? Something about a cactus up your ass or something? I don't remember. Look up. What were his finishers? Because all we know is Sacco.
See, Dude Love finishing.
It really shows you what kind of society we are, that we get excited by these storyline like matches that they have in fucking wrestling now. I mean, I'm not like these days into it, so I'll be honest with you there. But are you looking?
Sweet Chin Music or Cactus Clothesline?
Sweet Chin Music was fucking Michael.
Sweet Shin Music.
Shin Music. What, he kicked you in the shin?
I think he, like, when you're on the floor, he like falls on you with his shin.
Oh yeah.
And then Cactus Clothesline. So that's Dude Love.
Oh, he would like kick. He would like out the ring or something like that.
Man, I don't know, dude.
Listen, all I know is I don't want Mankind because that was one of the most savage wrestlers of all time.
Cactus Jack won the match with a pile driver through a table. Doesn't say.
Chokeslam, or would you want a chokeslam, or would you want to?
Oh, Mandible Claw.
Oh, I know about the mandible claw. I think that's what they call with the thingy thing.
The same ass thing as Sacco.
Rocco.
Remember Rocco and Sacco?
Rocco and Sacco. Would you rather be tombstoned or chokeslammed?
Chokeslammed.
Really?
Man, listen, people be getting their neck fucked up trying to do that shit. I
Yeah.
ain't trying to get no damn tombstone straight.
What do you want on your tombstone?
Plus, I don't want to have my face.
Pepperoni and cheese.
Plus, personally, I don't want to have my face between any dude's thighs. It's never a place.
After a whole match, dude, your balls smell.
Aside from all of that, but yes, that it's worse.
Dude, so in high school, freshman year, remember I told I didn't wrestle, but I was on the wrestling team. The day I quit the team was when we started wrestling each other. I was like, I don't.
You're like
this.
Chris from Everybody Hates Chris. He was a wrestler, but there was nobody else in his weight class. So he
won all the matches,
he had like
right?
he had like everything going for him, and then he finally had to face somebody, and he got his ass whipped in like a second and a half, and then
I didn't do that.
Up to that point.
I remember my first match very vividly. It was at Gordon Tech, right? Hilarious to me that. So before then, it was all conditioning. I'm talking about like this was like Rocky shit. You felt it in the background, da-da-da, running upstairs, like literally with each other on each other's back, like barrel rolls and like all sorts of crazy shit.
Conditioning,
dude, super conditioned. Like you were squatting each other. It was fucking nuts, man. Like I'm just squatting a dude. Like this is. You ever squatted a dude before?
Oh man. I'm trying to avoid going back to the marathon story. So stop saying things that are hilarious.
Dude, squatting a dude has to be the craziest fucking thing. And you're up against the wall. But you are. Like, how else are you going to gain balance?
Oh, man.
You got to get your balance somehow. So, like, literally, this is what I remember wrestling. So freshmen couldn't lift weights. They wouldn't allow us to, right?
So we had to lift each other.
We literally lifted each other.
That sounds real uplifting.
I was with an old friend of mine. You knew him. But anyway. So this is freshman year of high school.
Yeah.
So, like, I remember literally.
It's like decades ago,
We'd
man.
run up the stairs, right? Lane had four floors, like barrel, whatever. So, like, you would be with your arms up the steps. Running up the steps, right? Like,
hey, wait a second. Are you gonna have a 20-year anniversary?
Huh?
You're gonna have a 20-year anniversary soon.
Mine?
Yeah.
Next year.
Damn, you old as hell.
Yeah, man. So that we did that. I remember squatting. So like I would be like I'd be against the wall, right? They'd get on my, like, literally on my shoulders, and I would just be squatting until they told us we could stop squatting. We do rolls where this is where it gets hilarious. Like, let's say he'd lay down.
It hasn't already been hilarious?
I'd grab his ankles, and then I'd put mine over his arms, and he'd grab mine, and we had to roll like that. We had to roll like like a log.
It sounds like one of those competitions they have at like a picnic where you grab the other guy's feet and he has to like walk on his hands.
Yeah, it's something like that. It's like a log roll, and then there was one where they lay down, going where we like in the direction we were going, and they'd put their head between my legs and grab my ankles. Right? And then I had to go down and grab their ankles, and we rolled like a tire.
So people decided like, oh, these are cool. Let's continue doing this for the rest of our lives.
Wrestling? Yeah, listen. So I guess after freshman year, you get to lift each other. You get to lift weights and not each other.
Oh, man.
We would run the stairs for like what seemed like hours, just like fucking. The way we would do that, those exercises I'm telling you, we would like. We'd lay the wrestling mat out, right? The length of the gym or the perpendicular, right? So we'd run, we'd be jogging, and once we get to the mat, we got to perform that. We had to do like the swan roll, like, you know, where you jump and like somersault and all that. Dude, it was like hilarious fucking shit. But all of it seemed weird because you're just like, this dude's dick is on my shoulder.
I would just take all these things too serious. Like, I'd be sitting here in there trying to rock bottom people and shit. Like, I would actually probably hurt people.
Wrestling it was.
Nah, I know that, but the way they show it on TV, it looks like that's what's wrestling.
Do you know how I know? Because my first match, all I kept doing was locking up. Like, I was just like, what do we do
Grappling.
from here? What do we do from
There's
here?
no ropes to throw them against.
All right, because I know.
All right, man, I got to take these and keep them off. Keep fogging up.
I know how to shoot, right? Like, I understand the idea of, like, wrestling. Like, I know how to like shoot at somebody's leg and try to like I get that. I did that, the one leg, all this weird shit,
right?
Because it was a whole bunch of like swoop swoop swoop, get up, like
sharpshooters and figure fours and whatnot.
No, dude, not that, not DDTs or anything like that.
Half Nelsons and shit.
What if I just had them in my head like bow, boom, like. They whistle. They kick me out the gym. Like hurt him like drastically. You can't do
suplex.
That. You can't do that.
Well, that sounds like a way more entertaining way to go about these things.
It would be hilarious if they called it out before they suplex. But I kept locking up, right? And like my coach is like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
I figure I won't lose this way.
But like I don't know how to go about this, and I didn't want to like. I just the barrel rolls, right? Like we're all like we're then this thing called the singlet, right? And it's basically like a man like woman pajama, right? Like it's like or singlet. Did I call singlet? Yeah, right.
Yes, that's true.
So it's very small.
You're in a spandex onesie.
It's a very small onesie, right? That comes up to here. You got like a cup on. And then you got these wrestling boots. It's really hilarious if you think about it. Yeah. Either way, that didn't last long for me, y'all. I was like,
I don't want to wear this again.
I didn't like. I was like, you know what? I only liked the conditioning part.
Like my man, if basketball, like in the 50s, you know, they had the shorts of mid thigh, I probably wouldn't have played very much if I had to wear those.
No,
like that's what I'm saying.
Normal back then.
Yeah, no, I hear you, but like you know. I'm just glad that they decided.
What did you time travel? Like, dude, you don't have to do it like this.
I'm just.
It don't have to be like this.
I feel like somebody did. They were like, you can just make them longer.
It don't have to be like this, y'all.
Like y'all don't have to play with your balls hanging out of the side. And shit.
Like, did you ever see the football player at the combine running like the 40 and his dick fell out of his fucking like the singlet?
You see that guy's balls? Yeah,
dude, he just fell because like dude, his dick was like wah-bah. It was everywhere, man.
Oh my God! The things we talk about in this show.
I see nothing wrong with what we just talked about.
No, listen, it's hilarious. It made me laugh a lot. All of it.
That's a consideration. You can't wear too shorts of shorts. You're like, now your other dick, now your head is like popping out. Not the one that you see already.
But what happened with like wearing like a cup? You know, was that not a thing?
You know, cups to me seem like, are there different size cups? Like
I can't. I believe it's not one size fits all.
So I've worn a cup right once because of this. I don't know where it's at. Couldn't tell you. Wore one time.
Gotta like just smush everything up in there.
Yeah, like your balls go in it, right? Like so now your balls.
Well, I think the balls are like the main thing you're trying to protect.
No, I think but I mean I think your dick can really get hurt too.
Well, sure, but your balls are really the thing you're trying to protect.
So now
there.
they're not. It's like a cup, but it should be more of like a. They should call it a sack, right? Because your balls just don't fit in there comfortably. It's very like.
I imagine it's not extraordinarily comfortable. I didn't play any sports that required me to have a cup on, so that's cool. Yeah, basketball. They were like, here, just get shorts that are white, and we'll give you this blue jersey, and then you don't have to worry about doing anything else.
Yeah, all the sportswear is minimal, but like when you got like. Listen, I really I can say that I think a lot of that helped me in my foundation for like working out, like my legs later and shit like that. Because I mean, I was squatting a dude, man. Like I can't say it anywhere other more than that.
It's still the most hilarious way that you could possibly word anything.
But it was the way it was happening.
Nah,
Like,
I hear you. I understand it.
How would you word it?
I would if I had to word it at all, I would word it that way.
I think that sounds even worse.
I did squats and there was a dude on
my back. Yeah, that sounds worse, dude.
I don't know if it sounds worse, to be honest with you.
There was a dude
There's
on
not
my
really
back
a way
while I
for
was
that to
doing
sound
squats.
any way that's not hilarious. It's not possible.
He was sitting on my shoulders. It's not like he was like, like a fucking bear, like a bear hug. Like
I mean, good enough. He had his balls on your neck, so it was close enough.
Yeah, man.
I'm trying to find something else that's funny to talk about because there's something else that like there's other things to get into. They're just a little bit more serious, and I don't want to go to them.
Yeah, we're not going to get there yet.
Nah, not yet. Yeah, man, that's like that thing that I keep popping up here. I know you're not really paying too much attention to like the football season, but the Bears have made what I would believe are like questionable choices. Then I realized what they were trying to do. But they got rid of Roquan Smith. They got rid of I forgot what the dude's first name is, but last name Quinn. He was on the defensive side, and then they traded for Chase Claypool. I was like, oh man, feels like 2019 all over again. We got Chase Claypool. I'm over here chasing his rookie card and shit. I started putting some up on eBay again.
I haven't done any of that. I took all my shit off.
So I was like, okay,
Seems like a hassle.
I was like, it feels like they got rid of like veterans and people who are would be considered good offensive players, and then brought back in like some other younger talent. And I'm like, all right, okay, so that's what they're doing. They got Justin Fields, second-year guy, young, trying to get his ropes, whatever. And then they brought Claypool in. He's like third-year guy at this point and has developed some sort of notoriety in the league, right? So I'm like, all right, I guess they're trying to build from a young core. And then, but they gave away like draft picks. Did you know that second-round pick in football is a good pick? Because I didn't know that.
Second round, yeah.
In the NBA,
I mean, dude,
it's like you want to be first round.
You got a 52 or 54 man. I can't remember roster.
I just didn't put it into perspective because I'm like in basketball, you want to be first round. Second round is not really looked at like, oh yeah, you went high, but I guess in football it's different. So
yeah, it's hard for me to. I don't really have interest in football right now. I just don't.
But what about baseball? They're in the World Series right now. We've been watching,
it's over. Astros won yesterday.
Oh well, there you go.
Yeah. Congratulations to Dusty Baker.
Yeah.
He's the oldest.
All right, we'll give you an applause.
Yeah, man. I think he's the oldest manager to win the World Series, if I remember correctly, which is good for him.
Yeah.
He's been in the league for a long time, player and manager. He was part of the Cubs for a while, so bad feelings or not. He was a Cub for a little bit, so congratulations to him.
Is that where Schwarber went?
No, Schwarber's in like Cleveland or something.
No, he was in
Phillies?
He was
Just recently. Yeah, he was part of that.
I know he was in the World Series. I just forgot which side he was on.
So, if you think so, the Astros were accused of cheating, but for somebody that's accused of cheating, they've been winning a lot lately too, right? Like, are they still cheating or were they not cheating?
Bill Burr is so mad about it, right? Because he's like, yo, New England Patriots, like they were like, oh, the fucking ball weighed a cunt hair less than the rest of them. His words, not mine. And he's like, then they made a fucking spectacle out of it. Like you had to hear about it for 10 fucking years afterwards about how the Patriots cheated, da da da. He's like, the Astros literally stole calls so that they knew what was coming and won the World Series in that way, and nobody says a fucking word about it. He's so mad about it. But yeah, congratulations.
He's got a couple of he's got that new, or not new, but fairly new special on Netflix. Have you seen it?
Was it like a Paper Tiger or whatever?
He's like, yeah, You could tell there's like he's trying to get his rhythm back because some of those jokes were like, whoa.
Yeah,
I think everything he says is hilarious.
he's coming to Chicago, and I wanted to look at tickets, but they're expensive. So I was like,
Yeah,
I'll
I'm not going to anybody's shows. You can kiss my fucking ball sack. There's no.
They're
way
not like that bad.
Listen,
like, you can get
before I went to a Beyonce show, I would fucking.
Well, his tickets are like you can get on the floor for $400 each in the United Center. It's not bad. It's not bad in terms of like ticket pricing there. I'm not going. I'm just saying. Could be worse. But yeah, so actually, moving on from baseball, but kind of like segueing off of that, I always like think to myself, I've questioned it a million times why Pops would go from the Middle East and come to Chicago in like the cold as an Arab man. Like why would you want to go from the desert to fucking snow? It don't make no sense. And we were watching that show Mo, and he's in Houston. I'm like, all right, so there's a couple of other places that they could have gone from there, and Houston is one of them. Detroit is one of them.
Glad they didn't do Detroit.
Yeah, like
no offense, but I'm glad I don't say I'm from Detroit.
No. Like I'd much rather say that I was from Chicago than Houston or Detroit. To be honest with you. But how do you think our lives would be different if we were in Houston instead?
All right, so there's different ways we could have grown up, and we went the way of the mixed race children, 'cause
North Side Chicago.
North Side, but like we're also
you got to specify that because South Side Arabs are a bit
Arab
different.
and white. That's what I'm saying. And I know when you look at the classification thing, they try not to classify. How are you not? Okay, so fuck what we're talking about. I got to understand, there's these categories, right? There's all these categories, Asian and Latino or white, non-Hispanic, black, right?
I never understood the white non-Hispanic thing because I'm like,
that's just
are oftentimes whites
so
Hispanics?
Broad. Where is the Middle Eastern?
Okay.
Where's Middle East? It's literal. There is a notable Middle East.
There is.
Why are we not classified as that?
I've often checked Asian.
Yeah, the other day I almost did.
Because I guess I understand that like Middle East is also in Asia, but it's
no,
also
it's
like
not. It's in the middle. It's in the middle of Asia and
technically,
Africa. It's right there.
But technically, it's on Asia.
Nah, fuck that.
It's like right across the water from Egypt.
No, man.
But like,
I disagree. You know what's part of Asia?
You can't disagree because it's facts. But
I disagree with, and it's not fact.
It's just a natural fact.
It's not. It's not. Fuck that. All I'm saying is you can add one more check box. It's not difficult.
I understand. I don't understand. Like, what's the point of a census if you're not going to get like actual detailed information?
On my notes, I can make a to-do with check boxes. So when I press enter, there's already a box open. You don't gotta go look for it. So you already were in that category when you were making this form, right? You pressed enter to get to put the white non-Hispanic. Why did you just press enter and just say Middle Eastern one time? You don't even gotta just put M.E.
I'm me.
Classify me, man. I feel unclassified.
It's true, man. I want to be seen.
I want people to know I'm here. Shit.
Well, speaking of that general region, we don't have to go super in detail, but you want to talk about Kyrie Irving and his, suspension from the team and all that? So for a little bit of background, he shared a video which was what the masses determined was anti-Semitic, which I really feel like oftentimes that whole definition of some Semitism gets convoluted because Arabs are also Semitic, and there's anybody in that region is considered Semitic. So I don't know why it only gets attributed to the Jewish population, but I digress. So he shared a video, and I guess there's been a lot of backlash from it. Charles Barkley oh yeah, he should have been fined and should have been suspended, and the NBA dropped the ball on it because blah blah blah. Now if they do it,
suspended now. Nike suspended. Stop working with them. They're not dropping the Kyrie 8. All that.
Well, it's a little bit wild.
But I don't really want to talk about it because
we
talked about it enough. And I think I've realized
Kyrie spends more time in the news about things unrelated to basketball than he does about basketball, unfortunately.
And I think I just realized, you know what? I don't like. We've addressed a lot of these social issues on the show, but I think I would like the show to be one that you can kind of go to not have to deal with it
Not a word. I mean, it's just a thing that's happening in the realms of the world that we are pay attention to, at least to some degree. You know?
I agree. You know what, man? Again, I got nothing to say about it. You know where we stand if you've listened to our show already. It's just I've been trying to stay away from all the negativity and shit. You know, Vivi walk up to me like, I know you don't pay attention to this, but watch this video. I was like, I hate you. I spent the week avoiding this shit. You come to me on this Friday night. You come to me on the day of my rest after I've worked 5 fucking days.
And he's Italian too, technically.
Yo,
so
can you imagine if Don Corleone was just a regular working man? Oh, what do you want? I tell you every day. My job.
Is it exhausting to talk when your voice is like that?
My job, it's hard.
I often look at certain people just have like the sound of their voice. I'm like, it has to be a pain to talk that way.
Because he had the
or your vocal cords have to be sore and like I need the night to rest.
Luckily after the
I could
scene,
say very few words.
After the scene, he can go home and talk regular. But for now, and now I'm talking about like
I have to speak very intentionally because it hurts after a while. I need water.
All right. Let's go to break.
All right. Welcome back to the show. We are back from break, even though it was like 3 seconds for you guys. We took longer than that. And we're back with our comment of the show section, right?
And there's only 2.
Which is really just like
the same person.
It's really like Maisha's segment. So shout out to you. Appreciate the comments because, you know, you and Mike are the only ones who do it. So thank y'all.
And YouTube doesn't even like to show us the comments. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I don't know what's up with it either. But, you know, I would say fuck YouTube, except, well, you know, who cares? Fuck YouTube.
Yeah, they ain't giving us that.
It's not they're spotlighting us. Anyway, so we're going to start with some questions from, I just called her Maisha anyway, but whatever. Maya Jones. I'm going to get these comments. She says, not to hog the questions, but number 1, and we'll go for these one by one, answer them, blah, blah, blah.
Might as well.
So number 1, how do you feel about the battle the Bears are having with the city?
Oh, meaning they're...
Should ownership sell the team? That's 2 parts.
Well, all right, so the move is something that the owners are considering.
Yeah,
and from what I understand is almost pretty much cemented. Right? They got the state. I know exactly the location that they're discussing. Mm-hmm. It's pretty big. Mm-hmm. It'll allow for a lot more.
Well, it's right where the racetrack was, right?
It'll take a lot of money or revenue from Chicago.
Yeah.
And it'll literally inject it right into Arlington Heights. Mm-hmm. Right? I don't know. I've never been to a Bears game in Soldiers Field. Never once in my life.
I was just talking to Pops about like his first experience at a Bears game the other day.
See, I've never been inside actually Soldiers Field. I just never had the opportunity. Bears games are so expensive. Football games in general are expensive.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But what I'm saying is, I'm trying to get to a point is that
I would hope
if you were going, it might allow for more of a commuter-friendly situation. You know,
True.
Sometimes going to a Bears game could be a little bit hectic, from what I understand. I also hear it could be pretty fun to tailgate. I was actually just on IG a second ago, and I saw some friends tailgating now. I know that it could be pretty fun.
I think it's in a similar vein of like the United Center, right? You either pay for a private parking lot, which costs a lot more, or you go into their lot, which still costs money, and then you have all types of hell on your way out.
Well, you see what can happen if they're in Arlington Heights is they can actually build out, right? Stadium centralized, and then from the stadium, kind of like what the Ricketts are doing to Wrigley Field. Unfortunately, they're fucking the charm of Wrigleyville up. Mm-hmm. But things change. You gotta get used to it.
To be fair, I guess on a smaller scale, but Arlington Heights is used to having like, you know what I mean? Like they have the racetrack.
Well, they had Arlington
so like
racetrack.
They're
but what I'm
used
saying is,
they're just used to like some kind of events and like some kind of congestion to some point, and
of course. Whatever, but what I'm getting at is the space available to the Bears if they want to be that way. They can build their own hotels. They can build practice facilities if they like. I'm assuming there's a lot more land than we realize. They can build restaurants and
to be
bars.
fair, a lot of
they can make a little bit of little town, right? Like they can make how Wrigleyville kind of had their bar section around it. They can build around the stadium.
Yeah.
There's benefits to that.
Make a little Bearville Central over there.
city to me doesn't make it very inviting for companies or
Players,
teams or
like-
large corporations to decide to stay within the city limits.
Yeah.
You're not doing a great job of giving us reasons to stay, but you're giving us plenty to go. And Arlington Heights isn't too far. It's a nice suburb. I mean, like I said, they can build around the stadium. I think that
I'll tell you what, those fucking tickets are gonna be mad expensive the first few seasons. They're gonna
to
make all the money
to
back
make
from
that
all
money
them fucking
back.
things.
Well, they're gonna make their money back regardless. But
but it gives them a reason to be like, oh, well, we have all this to pay for.
well, part
Shit's up.
of their revenue is going to be including what they're able to build around the stadium.
Yeah.
They're going to build
Naturally.
restaurants, merchandise, fucking experiences, and like they can, photos and all sorts of fucking crazy shit. Bar and grills, like selling real estate to other big, like little, like restaurant companies or whatever you want to put there. You can do all of that. Batting cages, not batting cages. I'm sorry, like football. Like how can you,
Yeah, 'cause
precision
it's not
drills and
baseball.
you can do all of these things, right? And you can make it a dome. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like the city's already lost.
Pretty much. So in
Illinois in general has lost the most. There's been a more mass exodus of Illinois than any state, I think, in the United States.
yeah, everybody, a lot of companies that were based here and been here for years have been like, yeah, we're gonna
We
be-
out.
Yep.
Even if they're just dipping from the city,
It's true.
but there's a lot dipping from the state lines.
Well, I was talking to Pops about like buying property, for instance, and I'm like, I would never want to even buy land in Cook County. Like, it's just the most corrupt shit of all time. They do everything they can to drain you of everything that you have. So I'm like, you're better off going literally anywhere else. And I don't think that's far off when you're a business owner.
They're not, like I said earlier, they're not giving you reason to stay, but they're giving you reason to go.
So yeah,
to
I
answer
think that ownership
question-
should sell the team, but for reasons outside of this.
I don't.
Reasons outside
Well,
of this.
for
They're just
selfish fan reasons to
Yes.
be able to run differently. But if I were them, if it were a business move,
Yeah.
hell no. They're about to make money hand over fist in Arlington Heights.
yeah. And I'd be more inclined to go and see what's up with the game. I'll tell you that much.
I might go tailgate different. I'll go to a bar around there. I know that's just not going to be finished for like 3-4 years.
Yeah,
5
it's gonna be
years.
a minute, but
10 years. Who
It's
fucking
gonna be
knows?
real nice when it's done. You know.
What if Chicago is real petty? Like, oh, you leaving? Get the fuck out. What do you mean?
They can't do that.
We have a full season left.
Unless the governor, for whatever reason, has like some kind of authority to
Dude, Mayor
there's not
Daley
really-
cut X's in Meg's field. Anybody in Chicago is a gangster if they're fucking
Not word,
in
but
position of
mayor is only of the city. Like Arlington Heights has its own mayor, so they can't. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm just saying, what if
You know
they
what I
kick the Bears out and they have no place to be?
You can't use Chicago
You can't
anymore.
kick me out. I
You're
have
not-
nowhere to go.
You now got to be the Arlington Heights Bears.
You see the Bears holding games at like random park district fields throughout the city.
Well, I mean, hey, I don't really
What
know. How
would be
many,
even funnier is like
You
you know
use
how
Lane
like
Tech
you,
and shit?
you go to like a baseball diamond like and they're playing. Sorry guys, you can't. So like they come to play and they're like, sorry, intramural game's going on right now, guys. Sorry Bears. Sorry Chicago.
you're subject to the scheduling of the
Sorry,
field.
Chicago Bears, professional team from the National Football League. We have 12-year-olds playing a flag football game on this field today.
Well, I mean, I don't think they're gonna have any issues. Like
But yeah,
that.
that's my response. I think that no, they shouldn't sell it because from a business perspective, it seems like it's going to be pretty
They
lucrative.
should set themselves up over there, and then they should sell it to somebody who knows how to run a football team
And then the city
itself.
has
you know?
pretty much lost because they're not giving many benefits. And to me, the idea that they could build a dome, I think, is big enough that they'll do it.
Yeah. These motherfuckers play in like whenever you have a dome, you already have a step up.
Yeah,
Like the Cowboys got a dome,
it
right?
might actually draw people to the team.
Yeah.
Oh wow, you see what they just built over there? You don't got to play in Chicago.
Football's already dangerous enough. Now you got to worry about
You
fucking ripping your knee in half as you fucking.
You
run
ain't got
down
to
the
play
field.
Chicago cold weather. No, like it goes along hand in hand with what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know, the cold weather brings less traction, less stability on the field.
Like one of their first games this season, they were playing in like fucking the torrential downpour, and They were, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, part of it, I like.
Motherfucker tried to drive the ball off before a kick, and they gave him a penalty for that.
The idea, I seen that. The
like,
idea,
son, if I had a dome, it wouldn't be wet in the first place. How's this a fucking penalty?
Some adverse conditions are kind of cool for football.
Yeah, for sure.
But the idea of a player knowing that they can come play in a dome, dude, I'm telling you, you might draw people. That's my answer.
Those days we have like a little light
we've
flurry.
Lost them, and
you
they
know
shouldn't sell.
You have like a little light snow flurry and shit like that. Those are kind of cool games. Cool. I don't know how it is from the player's perspective, but from the fan, it looks really cool.
I mean, think about it when you were a kid playing outside and it was raining a little bit. You felt like a fucking warrior. Like, yeah.
All right, cool. So then, next question. Switching to basketball. Does AD make a return this season, and will he make an impact with whatever Davis? Team he returns?
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait, football?
Well, she says AD. So I assume
Anthony Davis. He's out again?
Does AD make a return this season, and will he make an impact with whatever team he's with when he returns?
So if we're talking Anthony Davis, the guy from the Lakers who, listen, I tread lightly with injuries because I don't like, injuries are not your fault. Even if you're injury prone, it's just not your fault.
It's true.
You know?
And it's super frustrating.
A healthy Anthony Davis is a big game changer. However, to be fucking perfectly honest, I don't think you're ever really going to see a true healthy Anthony Davis in the league. Yeah. You just don't, because he'll get okay, let me take that back. You might see him for a few games. You might see it for a longer stretch than that, even maybe a little bit more. But he's just unable to stay out of injuries way. I don't know. I seen him get injured by dunking and hanging on the rim too long the other day. I was like, what the hell?
Oh, his back, right?
Yeah, man.
As you get older, it hurts.
In this realm, I got to say that Zach LaVine is definitely showing out a little bit. So good for him. My thing still stands that the motherfucker shouldn't have been missing the first few games of the season. Whatever. Kawhi out again?
I don't know.
Yo. Don't get me started. But
this man is mad at Kawhi.
So that's my.
Listen, you're always gonna have your Grant Hills, your Brandon Roys, your Derrick Roses. Unfortunately, the people who they just like.
Okay, firstly, there's tiers to that.
There is always tiers.
Anthony Davis in that.
You don't?
No.
Why?
I don't see him as in the same place as a Grant Hill or even Derrick Rose or Penny Hardaway fucking situation. Brandon Roy, yeah, you're probably right. He should be in there as well. But Anthony Davis.
Greg Oden. There's a laundry list.
Greg Oden,
I'm just saying, the people who are injury prone.
We didn't even see what he can. Well, I'm talking about players.
I'm just saying the people who are injury prone in their careers that they're not ever able to give you a full display of what they can do because they're.
But Greg Oden is a player that you didn't see really play. You didn't get a. I know he played maybe a little bit, but he got no sample.
He had a couple seasons.
You got no sample size of him really. You didn't see him at his full potential. Grant Hill.
That's aside from the point.
For many years, Grant Hill was a murderer. Same thing with Penny Hardaway. We saw what Derrick Rose did, right? So I'm saying those.
Brandon Roy was looked at like he's going to be MVP at some point, like
who demonstrated this is who I am, and you were like, oh, that motherfucker, he's going to be something.
I know the Trailblazers were so mad, dude. They had like a solid ass core at that time.
Yeah, that sucks. But
Batum's still out there balling and shit. You know?
But yeah, that's my thing. I don't think that you'll see Anthony Davis be a healthy Anthony Davis. I don't know that he has very much trade value. I mean, to be honest, he hasn't really played a lot. What value do you have as somebody who hasn't demonstrated their ability to play for an extended period of time? Russ seems to have caught his rhythm based on what's their damn coach? Darvin Ham is their coach, the Lakers? I think so. Anyway, I think he's the coach. He said he switched him to second unit. So like 6 man essentially, right? Off the bench leading that second unit.
Yeah.
And I think he's thriving as the leader of that group, right? Because it's hard to find his role when I think you see LeBron on the court and you see all these youngins who like, there's just something that he needed. I think he's found in that second.
I mean, having too many all-stars on one, on the court squad at the same time presents its own issues.
Yeah.
So you can all be great, but you also all want the ball. You all want to make the big plays. Like besides LeBron, everybody wants to.
that reserve role for him, he's found something, and I'm happy for him because you would have hated to see him out the league because
he just averaged a triple double
because he
2
couldn't
seasons ago.
he couldn't find his
Yeah.
his joy again, if you will. And not to say he did. I don't like to put things on Russ, but like, because I know like at some point like a lot of these players be like, dude, you don't know what the fuck is going through my mind. So
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. Whatever the case with him, I mean, I don't know what kind of impact he's gonna make, but I want to see everybody succeed. You know, I'm not a Lakers fan, and regardless of what we spoke about last week, you know, regarding the greats, it's still a sport that competition exists, and I never like to see the Lakers succeed. So, whenever they start the season bad and they're like, oh, they're not going to even make the playoffs, I'm like, a little part of me laughs inside. So I can't deny that part.
well, they're definitely not gonna. Well,
it's the nature
I
of
take
sport,
that
man.
back. If they can get on, there's still time in the season for sure. See, here's the thing about like players like LeBron, right? Though you have your criticisms of him and whatnot, he was a great player.
Well-founded criticism.
Right. But he's a great player in his own regard.
Yeah, fine. They're in the NBA. Everybody's a great player.
I'm saying,
I told you already last time I told you about my hate for LeBron.
Or Kobe, right? When Kobe didn't make those playoffs the last few seasons, you were like,
yeah, but Kobe was still Kobe.
No, of course. But what I'm saying is, you got to give LeBron. He's in year 20. Like, you know what I've been doing. You know,
I mean, Kobe had a torn Achilles, and he was out there putting like 60 points on the board.
LeBron graduated the same year. I'm in year 22. I am breaking down, brother.
We've talked about this though. You also don't have access to the same level of care and medical professional. And all that.
Agreed. And that's why
and the same regimen where when you're not playing.
I haven't played basketball for 20 years since high school.
You also don't have the luxury of when you're not on the court. Every second of your day is dedicated to your recovery.
I was taking my nap, like. But so here's what I want to say about that. Like, you know how it probably would have made you or broken our hearts to see MJ like not. So let's say they won in their last year in '98.
MJ retired twice, came back, and still was MJ.
No.
All right.
I'm getting to a point. It has nothing to do with that. Let's say they won '98, right? And then he continued to play, which we all wish he would have. But in this scenario, every year after that last win, they just come short from the playoffs. And you're just like, come on. All right, Mike, please. I don't want to see you in a league not being the guy that you were, right? So, and though you may not have the same thoughts for LeBron, right? Somebody
More
does.
than Mike.
Uh-huh.
More than Mike.
Somebody doesn't, though you may not have it, somebody does have these feelings, right? And you got to respect that. That's fine because their generation is different. But what I'm saying is, if I were them, I wouldn't want to see him stop making the playoffs, right? Like, dude, you've been in the finals.
Yes, that's fine. But again, all the people who, like, we have our thoughts on MJ, all the people who were opposed to him, they were like, yeah, fuck you, get out of the playoffs.
Okay. All right.
So
well,
that is always going to exist.
I'm speaking from a different
Listen, there's no room for...
Not a fandom.
It's not all, like, heartwarming stories in the league.
Well, no.
It's all competition-based.
This is different.
So he had his moment. He went to the finals 9 times.
A different perspective. A different perspective of... Take yourself out. Take your thoughts on LeBron.
Last time we talked about LeBron, and I told you about my hate with LeBron.
I
told you don't try to ever
talk
talk me out of my hate. No. I told you don't ever try to talk me out of my hate for LeBron again.
No. I'm telling you right now. In this scenario, remove yourself. It's not you. It's just we're speaking from a general fans right now perspective.
Okay.
Do you want to see the greats just fizzle out? Because my worry is he's waiting for his son. Right, and what's going to happen in the meantime is mediocrity is going to be like as far as he gets in the league. And if removing yourself, you'd be like, "Come on, dude! Like your son, that'd be cool, but like you don't need to." you know?
But
like what if MJ's sons were actually good at basketball?
We talked about that too, right? Like how the legacy players, like they're never as good as their parents were. Blah blah blah.
Almost never.
I was gonna say there always is like exceptions. Obviously, you got
these kids now are different.
You got the Steph versus the Del Currys.
That's the only situation. Well, maybe the only situation where you're like, "Yo, that son outshined his father," because you always have high expectations, but certain players.
Well, the problem is, I'm sure there's more stories like that, but you always look at the ones that have been like the most successful because those are the ones who have the most light on them, right? Like Shaq's kid, obviously, he's gonna have a big light on him because Shaq is Shaq.
Shaq's a good example. of somebody who's kept playing for way too long.
Fucking Gary Payton.
Shaq was on Phoenix.
Jr.
Do you remember that? He was on Cleveland. Do you remember that? He was on Boston. Do you remember that?
Yes, but listen, I mean the same thing like Gary Payton Jr. Right? Like
The big cactus.
If you're looking at people,
I'm sorry.
if you look at people who have maybe they were an all-star at some point or whatever, but their careers weren't so storied. They probably have some offspring who play now who better than what they were.
Well, because kids these days, kids nowadays are different.
When you're comparing like the kids to their great
It's hard.
You know what I mean? Like yeah. So obviously,
like Bronny's not going to compare to his father.
No, and MJ's kids would never be an MJ because they're just
somehow
not.
Steph
different.
just became something else.
Yeah.
Okay, that's another one. Steph, right? They just won. I think there's a good chance
even Seth is looking all right out there. You know,
yeah. They got a brother that plays like some other sport, I think too, like baseball maybe. But
maybe you're thinking Klay Thompson. His brother was in the World Series, I think.
Oh, really? Oh, that's pretty cool. Man, all these fucking guys. Anyway, so Steph, for instance, they just won. Would you want to see Steph, like, keep playing to the point where you would, like, they're not even in the playoffs, they're not even contention. He's just a player in the league? No.
It's happened. I mean, like,
no, it has,
it's your Tony Parkers of the world.
Well, Tony Parker...
After the Spurs broke up,
he should have retired. He shouldn't have went to Charlotte.
Agreed, but after the Spurs broke up, he went and did that, and then nobody really thought much about him after that.
He was only there for a year.
Yeah, but like my only problem with them staying past their prime in the careers like that is they don't get the farewell that they deserve.
And that's the problem, right? So
because Tony Parker should have got that motherfucker was arguably one of the best point guards in the league for like 6 seasons.
You're LeBron, you're Steph, you're any of these guys, right? And you're used to doing what you do, winning how you win, or at least competing for the chance to be that guy. How many times after, let's say you've basically been making the playoffs your whole career, how many times missing the playoffs before you say, all right, I'm hanging it up?
It depends. It depends. Like
perspective of the LeBron, like you made 9 finals, and now you're just like, dude, I can't even get to the first fucking round.
The success as a team is different. If my perspective of my gameplay is still that like I'm performing at a high level personally, I'm not gonna get ready to hang it up.
So what do you decide?
I look
what
at
do you do?
That's really gonna be like an individual,
And
answer.
Are you looking at yourself objectively?
Well, that's the thing, right? Because like, let's switch to rap for a second, right? So like, oftentimes you have and I guess it's any sport, any music genre, not necessarily individuals rap, but like, if you are you put out hits and you're top of the charts for a year, right? And then all of a sudden you just fall off and you're like putting out things that people are like, why are you still going? Can you stop now? Or if you're like Jay-Z, they're just waiting for you to fall off, but you just keep putting out hit after hit after hit after hit. You gotta know like when to hold them, when to fold them type of thing, right? So like if you're realizing, hey, I'm putting my whatever into this music and I can't catch one, like no matter what. Yeah, you should probably hang it up and go and find something else to do. But if you're performing at a high level still,
I mean, you know what I mean? There's the only difference in that is because with the times, people's tastes and ears change. I think with basketball, it's a direct eye test.
That's why I think it's a perfect correlation.
He doesn't have it anymore.
That's why I think it's a perfect correlation. The only difference is, to me...
You can still be a great rapper and the times change. You can still be a great rapper and times change.
Yeah, but the people, the hip hop purists will still treat it that way. You'll have your following regardless. Like the whole entire wave is not going to change just because the general sound of the day changed.
Okay,
your fandom is still going to be your fandom.
Acknowledging that is different than the musical.
The reason why the only difference between the basketball and the music thing is in sports, specifically today, like you have so many different avenues you can go after the game. So like if you're like, hey man, I was great, whatever, like I'm at the decline now. I want my legacy to, be thought of as this always. I'm gonna go become a fucking analyst. They'll give you an analyst job anywhere. They'll give you a coaching job anywhere. Like you can go and still continue to be part of the game without having to be in the game.
Okay. So
Where music, you don't really have that. You can't just
So
go
LeBron-
from rapper to exec. It's not how it works for most people.
So LeBron, well, if you've structured your career correctly, or if you were good enough in the first place, you had that
There's
chance.
still only so many
you had that
executive
chance
jobs.
if you had that. If you you can create your own label and create your own independence, but
You can, but if you're putting
you
out
can't
crap,
just go.
then
you
nobody's
can't
going to want
leave
to sign
the-
to you.
You can't leave the NBA and be like, I'm gonna go start my own league. Okay, so you're LeBron,
Yeah.
right? You've now they missed the playoffs last season, right?
Yeah.
Right. Let's say you miss. Let's say this season you miss again. Where would you be at? Should I hang it up? Is it worth waiting to play with my son if I don't look like myself at all?
Again, it really depends. Is it you or is it the team?
Well, you got to think.
Because if I'm still out there and I'm
Okay,
putting
well,
up
if it's
25
if
points
it's
a
the
game
team, yeah,
and
but
you know,
what's the point if the team is still terrible? Do you even want to be on that type of
LeBron
squad?
put himself in that situation.
You're supposed to surround the superstar with people that
LeBron is literally A&Ring the entire team.
Do you blame?
If
So are you
his
saying
team-
that you think he's making all the decisions?
he's making all of the decisions?
You think like
There's no fucking way that he's not making the decisions.
Do you know that he got 0 votes out of in the league for best player in the league this year?
Because he's not best player in the league.
Right. I don't think that he's running the league.
You can-
Show. I don't think he's running the show like you think he's running the show in the Lakers.
He's definitely running the show in the Lakers.
I don't think so.
Even if he's not right now, bringing AD in,
You think he made
bring
the decision?
in whatever.
Well, before now, I'm saying, but that was when was the
So the season before last.
When was bubble?
But the reason why the team looks the way it looks right now, 19, right?
2020 to 2021 or 21 to 20.
19 and 20, I think.
Yeah, I think no, because it was COVID. COVID didn't start till
Yeah, that's when it started.
COVID wasn't 19.
It started at the end of 19.
No, it started at the beginning of 2020. February or March 2020. So, okay, so what happened was it was March, they stopped the season, and then came June. Then came June.
You need headphones, man.
I know. Then came June. They decided to bring them all down to Orlando.
Yeah.
So that was only 2-3 months. Remember, it wasn't it was a short span.
They did like a restart.
But that was like his first season with them,
yeah.
or second. I don't know exactly. I think.
Well,
it was
regardless, the reason why the team looks the way it looks today, he chose these pieces. He
Do you
chose.
thi- you think he
He
chose
was like,
Russ?
I want him. I want
You
him.
think
I
he
want-"
chose Russ?
Yeah, I think they
You
talked
think
about
he
it.
chose to get Caruso out of there?
Do you think that a player like that comes over there
think he
without
chose
them discussing
Caruso?
it together first?
You think he chose to get Caruso out of there?
Before Caruso, I didn't really ever look at him like a mega star or anything like that before. So I don't think. I think he was cool with letting him go to. Listen, man, when you're LeBron,
Caruso reminds me of like a Kirk Heinrich type of player. Scrappy. He's gonna make those plays you need him to make, and outside of
Sure.
he can actually dunk the ball pretty decent.
which is surprising to me, it's the most unhooping looking like hooper of all time.
No, I don't think so. Brian Scalabrine was pretty bad.
I don't know, man. He just doesn't look like a hooper to me. That's all I'm saying. Look like he
So, but just to get this, to clear that out, because this topic, LeBron, you're LeBron right now. If you lose one more season, you think you're reconsidering?
I haven't been watching, so I don't know what his numbers look like. But
Because
if I
also
feel
take
like
into consideration, there may be ailments and things that you're just like, dude, I am tired.
fine, if I feel like I'm me, I'm not walking away from the game yet. But I also never really felt like LeBron had that much of a love for the game. I felt like
what semblance of me do you need? Like what percentage do you need to feel like you're okay?
I need to feel like I'm like at least like 95% of me.
What if? Oh, really?
Yeah, I need
You
to
think
feel
LeBron's
like me.
feeling like he's 95%?
But again, listen.
Take that away. I'm not asking about what you think he feels about what he loves. I'm just saying.
No, that's important.
If he's 95,
I feel like LeBron
you
is
think
very
LeBron's-
capable.
You think he's been 95% at all in the last few seasons?
I'm just saying, if I personally feel that way about myself out there, I'm not stepping away.
Okay, so in this scenario, we're assuming you're past that.
But this is why the heart
You're
thing
now
is
at
important
eight,
to me,
let's
man.
say you're
Because
like 80 to 90 on a good day. But like most nights, you might feel like
if I'm
78%.
stepping outside of myself and being objective, 90% for LeBron is
great
compared to somebody
It's
else.
pretty great.
It's pretty good still.
But
so
for yourself, like you're on your own scale, right? You're not comparing yourself to other players because if you were, you're way better than them in general. But if you're not, then you're
I'm gonna keep going back to the heart because it's the same way to me.
if
Like,
your heart's in it. You're
for me, I don't ever feel like LeBron was that in love with basketball personally. I feel like he was very capable and very good at it, and he was like, I'm gonna go. But
Assume the
There's
love
certain
is there.
things-
Assume the love is there. But your
I never
body-
assumed it was, so
Well,
I'm not going to
in
do
this
that.
scenario, I just want to know where you.
Listen, man, you're painting scenarios all over.
No, because maybe, but I want to see where you think
If I love the
where
game-
the line gets drawn.
If I love the game and I still feel physically capable and I don't feel like I'm making a mockery of my whole legacy, I'm out there.
That's the question I'm asking. At what point do you feel like you're starting to make a
It
mockery of
depends.
yourself?
I mean, I can't speak for him. I can't speak for what he thinks.
When what happens?
But
then?
if I'm
When
not-
what happens? Do you reconsider? Do you get crossed by a certain player?
No, if I feel like I'm not the fastest man out on the court, if I feel like I'm
definitely not anymore.
Well, it
Derrick
depends.
Rose is the fastest man on the court.
If-
I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
if you on a fast break, LeBron is still
He's a monster.
He's still
He still
he's
lets you
still a
shoot.
pretty fast.
But you can
man
tell
down
he's
the
not
court.
getting up as.
But if I don't feel
spry.
athletic, if I don't feel like I'm fast, if I don't feel like I'm jumping high, like those things are what made him essentially,
Yeah.
right? So if you're not able to like run and jump, if I can't fucking complete an alley oop with ease, like it's fucking something I sleep doing. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously,
What about if when
obviously
you
there's an
do
old
it,
man
you
game,
feel
right?
hurt, you feel worse.
Obviously there's an old man game, right? So MJ, his athleticism slowed down.
But
he
he knew what to do with
he
it.
had to develop a shot. He developed a fadeaway, whatever he did, what he had. I don't know what LeBron's late career looks like.
So
in that regard.
Dennis Rodman said something about him saying he has no go-to moves, right? He doesn't really have a go-to move per se. Maybe he's added a little bit lately, but like he doesn't have that.
Yeah, like a little reverse layup.
Like if you look at Michael, that fadeaway would get him 30.
He had a little reverse. You know, that's like his go-to from.
LeBron is that little step back, that slow, that little slow step back.
Yeah, he never really had an impressive jump shot.
Who, LeBron?
Yeah.
No, I didn't think so. But
I mean, not to talk about him like he's not still playing, but
yeah, but like I was just wondering that, like, at what that was the best way you stated it. At what point do you feel you're making a mockery of your previous self?
I don't think not making the playoffs does that. I think it's really more about your individual
but
game.
the continuous not making the compounding of that?
Then management has to step in and do some things.
And if they don't, well,
He's been so used to controlling.
I guess part of it is that I'm saying at what point are you like, you know what?
He's been
What am I
the number
doing
one
here?
person controlling the narrative on his teams. Every team he's been on, he's been the one selecting, hey, this is who I want, go after them, whatever it is. Like he's been the one to basically coach in a way. Or at very least play the what are those fucking douchebags that were on Chicago that we wanted out of here so bad. He plays those roles. Like I'm gonna go after the right players.
Garpax.
Yeah. He's playing the role of the person who wants to form the team to his liking. I think there should be a point where he's like, all right,
So
clearly I'm not seeing something. We're not doing what we need to do. I still feel like I'm competitive. I want to win. I feel like we can. Let's get the right people in here.
well, then you look at players like Dwayne Wade, who I think probably could have played still. I think, but he decided it was done. Like, I don't know. And they came from the same year. But he's a little older than LeBron.
Yeah, we also had some
I guess
knee
I'm
things.
just trying to gauge like
you know.
where the love of basketball and the line of I don't have it anymore.
Listen, I'm trying to speak about this as objectively as possible because you know that, like,
All right.
for
Well,
me, this is not the right conversation
now
to
just
have.
assume you're not LeBron as much as somebody that's achieved what LeBron has, but you have like the presumed love for the game still. Is that a better way to state it?
Yeah, you'd have to say presumed because
Well, obviously we presume the player we're talking about.
I can't presume it because I've seen him defer too many times in big moments.
Well, now we're not
so-
LeBron. We're a guy that's done what LeBron's done. That's all I'm saying is the line between
super important
the line
factor.
between I still love the shit out this game, but I don't know if I'm still able to.
I mean, again,
perform
we're beating
this
this. We're beating this to
task.
death. If he still feels like he can dominate, he should still play.
All right.
If he doesn't feel like it's on him that they're not making the playoffs, even though every team arguably is like, oh, LeBron led them, then yeah, I mean,
Got it. Okay.
all right, so switch
You got more
gears.
questions?
Yeah, one more. Well, actually, there's more, a couple more. So I don't really haven't been paying too much attention to like the upcoming music, but yes, is there what album releases are you guys excited about for the last 2 months of the year?
Honestly, I don't even know who's supposed to drop. At this point, it's really difficult to see because people drop so just kind of like spur of the moment. Like you know what? I felt like dropping this. I think Rod Wave is supposed to put something out, which I'm gonna enjoy because I fuck with Rod Wave. Division's last album, this new one that just came out, it's Healing My Scars, or I forget what the. Let me give you the name of it because I don't want to fucking fuck that up.
You're talking about Rihanna finally coming out with some new music, huh?
Yeah, well,
she just put out a single.
Working on My Karma.
That has nothing to do with scars.
No, but Working on My Karma it's really good album.
Yeah.
Still listening to that Freddie Gibbs, listening to some of that new Tory Lanez as well.
Some of the Jeezy.
That new Drake in 21. I've listened to a little bit of it.
Oh, it's out now, right? It came out Friday.
They said that he was making fun of Meg Thee Stallion.
Oh yeah, she responded. She's not happy about it.
Yeah, but they said he wasn't talking about her. They were talking about like girls getting BBLs.
I mean, he said.
All right, look.
He said.
I don't know.
He said she lied about getting shot, but she's still a stallion. That pretty much tells you that it's about her.
All
But
right,
like,
I don't know if she got shot or not. I'm just gonna say that. But what I am gonna say is, if she got shot in the foot, she got back to twerking pretty quick.
Yeah.
Because I broke my foot.
She's still a bad bitch.
Yeah. I broke my foot though, right? I broke it. And I was on disability for
motherfucker was in a boot for months.
For like 6 months, I had a broken foot and I couldn't do anything.
I mean, listen, this
motherfucker was on. She was like, hands on my knees, shaking ass. It's
just another thing that there's tears to. You know what I mean? The medical attention that you're able to get compared to what she's able to get.
What you think? Well, I don't know. Yeah, but that was too quick.
There are doctors who like
that was too quick.
Like we think Harvard is like the standard.
Harvard.
And there's a bunch of Richie people up there. No, I don't know, but yeah, as far as upcoming albums, if Rihanna puts something out, I'd be interested to hear it. I'm not like somebody who ran to her albums before, but she's been gone for a minute, and I'm sure there'd be some good shit on there. Like she's not coming back with some bullshit.
So yeah, that's my response to that. What I've been listening to and kind of what
there's no rumors of a J album, but it'd be great to get a J album.
I don't need it.
Okay, Mr. Nas put out 7 albums.
No, Nas put out 3 albums in a 2-year span that were fucking phenomenal.
That's great, but did you need it?
No.
Okay then. So there you go. Just because you don't need it doesn't mean it can't also still be great. Doesn't mean that it can't also still just be great.
I'm not asking for a J album. If he throws it out there, I'll be like, cool, good for you. But I didn't ask for you to put one out.
Word. It's fine.
It's a difference.
Jeezy dropped, so that anticipation is obviously gone because he's out already. I don't know, man. There's not really ones that I'm looking forward to at this point.
Okay. Well, if you don't have any, you don't have any.
All right.
There's your answer.
Yeah, two more questions, she said.
God damn.
Should celebrities, once they reach a certain level, cut off those that they were around before they got to where they were? Asking in light of Takeoff's passing. Rest in peace. Yes, first of all, rest in peace, Takeoff.
Rest in peace, Takeoff. We were going to get to that, and I guess this is a good chance to do it.
Yes, it's a good thing the question
rest in peace, man. Young brother, man. And
28 years old.
It's funny because I was talking to Max this morning. They've been around for a long time, and he was only 28.
Yeah.
So you got to think about how young he was when they first came around.
Yep.
Full disclosure,
I was gonna
Migos is not my my bag, but
yeah.
They got some joints that really.
They got some bops.
They make some songs that are enjoyable to listen to in the right setting, and that's key.
And at that point, when they were first out, it was like early on in my 21 and older days.
Yeah.
So it was in a club a lot. And whether it was something that I went to go and run to or not, I heard it.
You heard it a lot.
You know?
Yeah. So I think to answer her.
All right. Dumbass camera.
So to answer her, I think you just have to vet people a little bit better than you would have had you not been as successful maybe. Because you want to make sure that people are not going to be, for lack of a better term, a leech, right? You want somebody who, there's 2 different people, I think, when you get put into that setting, right? If let's say you or I were to make it like this podcast, we get a few more subscribers in us and whatever it is, but we need a few more. We become a person of means with a little bit of influence, right? We might have a friend that's around that says, "Oh man, I could just stay attached to these people and move with them and
somebody who's not beneficial for our brand
and reap benefits." Or we can have the person that's like, "Yo, I can learn from these motherfuckers and start my own shit," right?
Somebody who metaphorically will hold the gun for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You want
Metaphorically.
but you want to make sure that you have the right people around you, and you have to vet people more realistically and maybe more harshly than you would have otherwise. And that's my response to that, because anything can happen anytime, any place, anywhere. But
Well, yeah, and that's kind of like what the situation was. So, just to give a little bit of background on his passing and how the whole story went, they were in Houston at a bowling alley. I think it was like a bowling and billiards place or something like that. He was with Quavo, I believe, and just some other people that they run with, whatever. And Quavo was in a dice game. Takeoff wasn't even in the game, but he was in the area, obviously, like whatever. And I guess like some dispute happened. Some idiot took out a gunshot, and he, I believe, he said like his manager or something also got shot, but he lived, whatever. And then obviously Takeoff lost his life, unfortunately, on that whole situation. So I don't know, man. It's just like anything can happen anywhere with anybody. You don't have to even be the target, you know?
yeah,
I think at that point, like, obviously, to some degree, you're like, yeah, let me not go to places where I know that type of shit is possible, because it's just like not worth it at this point, you know? Like, it's hard to say, because you don't want to tell people like, hey, stay out of areas that you want to go, because there's a element of danger that could exist. Like, you're at a bowling alley, so I mean, you know.
yeah. It's unfortunate, and I mean that's my answer to that. Rest in peace, Takeoff.
Yeah, we could leave it there. Rest in peace, Takeoff, and everybody just mind your P's and Q's, and if things escalate, they don't necessarily have to escalate to gun violence.
Yeah, that's the truth.
But all right, let's go to the next one. Do you think there will ever be a child of an athlete that will live up to or exceed the hype? So we kind of talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about that already, and I think Steph is probably the greatest example of that.
Yeah. Steph is pretty crazy out there, man. And I think the likelihood of them repeating isn't really super far off. Although Clay isn't really performing super crazy.
I mean, they're at the end of their run, I think, for this season and next, maybe. This season and next.
I can't say that when they just came off a championship.
This squad.
I can't say that
because I think they're getting.
I can't say that knowing they just came off a championship and it's still early in the season.
That's true. Maybe he might get his rhythm back. We'll see.
Again, he's somebody who he missed over a year of basketball. Like he was out for
two seasons, wasn't it?
100 and some games that he didn't play. So just the fact he's able to come out there, compete, whatever, like it's
good.
Yeah,
it's good.
I don't know. I see them doing their thing this season.
They might. I don't. You know me. I chose them last year before we even started. So
I think if you give them enough motivation. I saw a short video where John Morant had said something to Steph before playoffs started last season, and he was just like, "Oh, like we're gonna have some fun, whatever, da da da," and then it showed Steph like doing a Dougie afterwards to like a fucking post championship game. Whatever,
he was having a ball.
Yeah,
he had a ball.
So, yeah, man, you gotta be careful who you shit talk. Like, John Morant is a very talented player, but he's also a very young guy. He's also going against somebody who knows the game a little bit more. Like Steph is he's. I think when he first started, it's not somebody who would have been like, oh yeah, there's gonna be fear in the opponent's heart when he steps on the court. And you maybe looked at him as like a shooter, a role player style,
Yeah.
And he really just kind of he transcended. You got to give him his flowers, man. That guy
you got to do it.
The guy's crazy. Anything else important that we need to get to?
Sneakers.
All right.
Well, I mean, actually, okay. So I got one. There's a few things sneaker related. Like when I say that,
So before we get to what we have on
those homage, the lost and found Jordan 1s, right? Those are supposed to come out the 19th, but what Nike said is that you will get exclusive access. Have you missed out or taken an L on the last on 20 or more? I don't know if it's Jordan 1s or releases in general. So I think I should get exclusive access. So that's why I've been sitting here looking at my phone.
Let me see if I count the hold the one. Yeah, there's been a lot.
Yeah, there's
I've been unsuccessful on a lot more than I've been successful on.
So I'm hoping. So they released the Panda Dunks for the 47th time. Actually, Mike texts me every time he's trying to get them. I try. So I tried to give Vivi a pair, right? So I was like, all right, so Dunks might run a little big. So let me get a 7.5. Purchased. I went to purchase them. I'm in line. So I go back and it doesn't say I'm in line at all. I'm like, what the fuck, right? So
I was in line, bitch.
So I was like, all right, well now that I'm here, let me try an 8, right? So I tried to buy an 8, and long story short, Nike never acknowledged any of this. Like I got a you're in line. That's
Being a
about as far.
gandu, man.
I didn't, dude. I didn't
Stupid
get
Nike.
I didn't get a you didn't get them. I didn't get nothing. And like Mike, he sent me a text saying, "Yeah, this is what I got. I didn't get them." Nike acknowledged nothing. I tried to purchase it twice. I wasn't trying to resell Nike. I was trying to have a pair. Actually, I wasn't trying to get a pair. I was trying to get my fiance a pair.
Now that Elon Musk has taken over Twitter, we get on there and curse Nike the fuck out.
Motherfuckers. Oh, well.
It's pretty funny. What do you think about them making his idea to like you have to pay to get your blue check?
Dude, it's funny because Joe Budden just said that. He was like, I would make everybody pay for these types of things. But I don't care. I'm nowhere near a blue check. I mean, we got a cousin.
Can we pay for ours?
We got a cousin who's got a blue check, which is
Does he?
pretty cool. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Way to go, Mayor.
Actually, that happened pretty quickly.
Huh.
Yeah, I looked. I was like, oh shit, he got one.
I didn't realize that. Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's a different name than his actual name, but shout out to Mayor, though.
Word. What you got on your feet?
I got these bread nines. You know, we'll go back to that. I try to reference from the week before. We talked about these last week a little bit. Just a shoe I enjoy. 9 is nice.
All right. Well, I'm glad you like them. The 9, they do have certain colorways that I do like. And those are actually, that's kind of one of them. It's a good winter
It's got a little hint of red in there. Nothing crazy.
Then I got these Fire Red 4s on again because I enjoy them, and that's the story of that.
This is the story.
Yeah.
All right, word. Well, guess we might as well close the show out then.
Close it out, we will.
Thank you all for tuning in to episode number 157 of the Kasson Avenue podcast. We're glad to have you here with us. If you did indeed make it more than like 5 minutes in.
Yeah.
Shout out to Maisha and Mike, our comment VIPs of the week.
Appreciate y'all. I'm taking control of the IG now, so I'm going to be posting more and more. That means you should follow.
Now we have an exclusionary third party who does all of our social media.
What?
Yeah. So we'll see y'all next week.
All right, guy. Peace.
Damn. Without headphones, I don't even love y'all.